Hey, welcome back to The Dive. Today on the show, we have the CEO and founder of Riverside Resources back, John-Mark Staude. John-Mark is going to share his thoughts on the Fed's possible next move. The Bank of Japan surprisingly widening its target range of the Japanese 10-year, his read on copper prices, the catalyst that will drive gold prices in 2023, and he's going to let us in on the latest exciting news from Riverside Resources. Hey, John-Mark, welcome back to The Dive.
Great to be on the show, Cassandra.
Okay, so John-Mark, the Federal Reserve raised its benchmark rate by 0.5 percentage point last week. What are your thoughts on the FOMC meeting, and where do you think that the Fed goes from here?
I'm glad to see that at least it's slowing down, but it continues to rise, and I think it's giving headwinds that they're going to continue to rise a little bit more. So that's actually affecting us quite a bit, the overall market, the metals market. And for me, I think that it's definitely slowing the economy down really much faster than what the Fed thought it would do. And it's actually affecting quite a bit globally, as overall, I think globally, the markets are being hit, and the Fed's increasing interest rates continues to really pull down on the economy.
The Bank of Japan surprisingly widened its target range for the Japanese 10-year. How closely are you following what's happening in the Japanese bond market?
You know, it's interesting. If the U.S., as Japan actually raises its rates and actually starts to do that, the people put money into the yen. And if people put money in the yen, it pulls again capital that go to treasuries. So I think it definitely sucks out inflation. I think it definitely shows that all of the different central banks are all raising interest rates, which I think really mean there'll be a big move as soon as this cause pulls back for gold and other things to go up. So I definitely feel that it's important to see happening, and I really think it's going to impact us in the first half of 2023.
Okay, now let's shift to copper. The monthly metals index rose 3.87% from November to December. Some say that this is due to China pivoting away from its zero COVID policy. Given the macro backdrop, what is your read on where the price of copper is going?
Oh my gosh, I just had a copper call. So much is happening on copper. I'm not even sleeping at night. It's awesome. The truth is that there's such pressure on producers. There's such a challenge now. What's happening in Panama, what's happening in Peru, what's happening in Chile. All these different things are actually squeezing the copper producers. I definitely think also China trying to get away from the zero COVID policy. China's definitely trying to get more production going on. Copper, man, it's just going to really take off. It's so important. And it's been so difficult to develop new mines. And that's not getting easier. It really creates a squeeze. I'm really bullish on copper potential.
So since Peru declared a state of emergency following the impeachment and arrest of its former president, Peru being the second largest producer of copper in the world, what impact do you think that this has on the copper market?
Oh my gosh, it's so important. And I don't know if it's just Peru, but Peru has definitely been having challenges. And the giant mines like Las Bambas, other giant mines, giant producers like Southern Peru Copper, these are challenges. And if we pull that off, that just adds another challenging stack for the copper market. And no, I definitely am nervous about it. It's happening. I'm communicating with my friends in Peru to see really what's happening on the ground. And I definitely think it's going to really impact for 2023. This instability means you can't put more capital to work, means that you need more copper and you don't have the supply coming on. This Peru is actually quite important for the copper market.
Okay, so let's come back to gold for a second here. In your view, what are the catalysts that will drive gold prices in 2023?
Yeah, I think one of the things is that as we saw that interest rates are all going up, but they're starting to be lessened. And as that happens, that's definitely going to push the gold price upward. We cannot keep raising interest rates and have the economies will definitely go into a depression. We'll go back to a recession. We'll be pushed down so much. So I definitely think that's a catalyst. I think also the instability that we see overall, the different saber rattling and different challenges that we see globally are a key thing for gold. I think the other thing is that people are pulling their money out of cryptocurrencies and places that money had been going into. There's been a lot of concern now. What's happening on those fronts? And so I definitely think that gold is a place for that capital wanting to come, wanting stability, wanting to have a good value, and wanting not to lose value during inflation. So with inflation going up, and particularly with the interest rates flattening out, gold is going to take off. So I'm really bullish on the gold potential, particularly in the second half of 2023.
Okay, let's talk about Riverside. You reported the sale of your Tajitos gold project located in Sonora, Mexico, for a $2.5 million cash payment and a 2% NSR. Could you walk us through the transaction and what does this mean for Riverside?
I'm so excited. I've been working on this for a decade. Here I am in my home office here in the basement with all of my books and where I am. We've been working on this. We have data, and for us to get this deal done is huge. First off, Fresnillo is Mexico's largest silver producer. It's a giant mining company, and they build mines. Riverside has a 2% net smelter royalty now on the Tajitos project. That project can be the next mine for Fresnillo, so that royalty can begin producing for Riverside. So Riverside's in a fantastic position. On top of that, getting paid cash straight out from Fresnillo is great for Riverside. It tops up our treasury now with us having over 8 million Canadian dollars in the bank, a great treasury. And so for us, getting this transaction done is very big. And for us, having a royalty that potentially could be cash flowing is huge. So Riverside's in a great position. Very excited to get this, kind of like Christmas coming early.
What project excites you the most right now, John-Mark?
You know, for us, I'm very excited about two things. One is working with BHP, the giant copper producer, the giant copper company, and seeing copper being so bullish in 2023. Riverside has 5 projects moving forward with BHP. And so for us, that program with BHP and drilling and exploration is fabulous, and we're very excited about the catalyst there. The second is on gold, our Union project. It has up to 2 ounces per ton. Very rich gold. We like that project. It's a carbonate replacement style system. Those systems can be very rich. I think in this market of challenges and overall in the challenging times, high grades will really go to the upside. And thus having a project like the Union project of Riverside for 2023 is very exciting. And we're looking forward to putting out news about that and progressing that project early in 2023.
Okay, so John-Mark, before we let you go here, what should investors be looking out for with Riverside as we enter into 2023?
You know, for Riverside, I think great thing is spin outs. Riverside's been able to do that in the past, and we were able to dividend to shareholders shares of Capitan Mining, and that was excellent. Imagine having Riverside and then having something else. I think Riverside's set up to do that again. We have portfolios, we have royalties, we have gold, we have a lot of different things, and we're sitting on cash. So in a great position. So I think for 2023, transactions, growth, unlocking of value. We're trading at near our cash value. On top of that, we have the royalties. So I think for 2023, upside, I'm very excited about it. And particularly more transactions that unlock value sets up Riverside in a great position. And when you're trading near your cash value, it's all upside. It's a great position to be in.
Okay, great. Well, that's all we have for you today, John-Mark. I hope you have a great holiday season and hope to see you in the new year.
Great to be on the show, Cassandra. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching today. We'll be back again tomorrow with another amazing interview, so stay tuned by hitting that little notification bell and subscribing below. Bye.